Scott. Give us your immediate reaction. We just saw Cris Cyborg defend her featherweight title, first round KO. What were your thoughts on the finish?
I mean, I thought she looked impressive. It's just amazing to me. She just looks like she's getting better and better. She looks as fast as ever through some great combinations tonight. And, I mean, she looked great. That's what I like to say about that.
Yeah. And Sinead, she lived up to what she said. She was going to bring the fight. She was not going to back down. Obviously, it didn't turn out the way she wanted, but
Mhm.
I think she put on a fight. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, she is a girl that has proven she has a real puncher's chance. And if she would have hit Cyborg on the chin early, it could have maybe hurt her. And I think that was her strategy. And they came out swinging for the fences, from the opening bell. So I think the fans got their money's worth tonight. It's gonna be great television on Showtime. I think that it's a great night.
Yeah. What's going to be next for Cyborg? She looks so dominant. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, look, maybe Kat Zingano. She hasn't fought her yet." Is
Mhm.
that it, or is there something else perhaps in the horizon for Cyborg?
Well, it's everybody's talking about Kayla Harrison, but Kayla Harrison is not signed with Bellator, so I know she's a free agent. I think we're gonna start talking to her management early next week, and see if we can bring her into the roster, and then we could maybe start promoting that fight. But I think for Cyborg, the next fight is, I mean, we have a couple of girls in mind, but I think Katzegano is definitely one of them. And we'll decide that as we circle back, and go and we'll start talking to the fight team early next week, and we'll probably have something because we want her to fight again as early as maybe February, March
Yeah.
of of next year. So we want to turn her around as soon as she wants to, and we'll have some opponents for her.
You mentioned Kayla there. You told me yesterday that she was coming. She was there, and you were gonna say hello and have a conversation with
Hmm.
her. I talked to Kayla. She said you guys talked. Can you tell us about that conversation and what was your impressions of Kayla?
I mean, look, she's a accomplished athlete. She's fought some good competition. I think she's hard worker. I watched her train about 8 months ago in the gym, or maybe 6 months ago in the gym. This girl is a force to be reckoned with. But I just want to let her know that we are going to start talking to Ali and that we are serious and that we'll do our best to try to put a deal together to have her come over here so she can, fight Cyborg and some of the other girls we have in the roster.
Yeah. Has Cyborg ever mentioned anything to you about Kayla?
Yeah, she said, look, you know, this is something that she's fine with. She goes, if you get on the roster, then let's get it on, and that's her attitude. If she's not on the roster, then there's nothing to talk about, and there's no, like why even talk about her. So if we put it together, I think you'll hear a lot more chatter between the two girls.
Yeah. And just real quick in the co-main event, Linton Vassell picked up a victory. You said that let's wait and see how they look before I label somebody next contender at heavyweight.
Yep. Hmm.
What did you think of his performance, and do you think it merits a title shot?
I'll tell you, I want to go back and look at the tape because that was a really close fight, and I was telling Rich and Mike, I said, I really feel sorry for the judges trying to judge that fight because it was just back and forth, and they both had a couple groin shots. There's some breaks in the fight. So let me go back and take a look, and then we'll go from there. But let's see how the rankings go, and we'll take a look at that too, and
Yeah.
we'll make a decision.
And just a couple quick ones for me.
Hmm.
Pico now on a
Hmm.
five-fight winning streak,
Hmm.
looking quite impressive. Obviously, taking the undefeated record from
Hmm.
Justin Gonzalez.
Hmm.
What is next for Pico? Is it a title shot, or would you like to sort of cook his development a little bit longer before you throw him against the top dogs at 145?
I'll tell you, Aaron looked fantastic, and it was a fight that I really watched carefully because it's somebody that is getting right up there. Um, Title shot? I'm not sure. I don't think so, but maybe him and Sanchez can put it together, or we have a couple other fighters that we'd love to put in the mix at 145. But we'll have plenty of good competition for him to fight. But I think he had a dominant performance against an undefeated fighter, and he looked great. And so to me, I congratulated him and said, "Hey, you look great. You were patient, and you did what you had to do, and you look great doing it tonight." So I think it was a good night for Pico.
Yeah, and lastly, Valerie Loureda, one of Bellator's biggest prospect.
Hmm.
She's now back in the win column,
Hmm.
picked up a decision win in the preliminary card. What are your thoughts on her ceiling and overall, watching a prospect coming back from her first defeat and
Hmm.
getting back in the win column?
I'll tell you, and I want to quote Dan Lambert on this because Dan, as you know, owns AT&T here where she trains. He said, "Look, Coker, when she lost, she's back in the gym and she was training right away, and she's has a mentality, of a winner, and she's going to keep training hard, and this girl's going to just keep grinding it out." And so, to me, she had a victory. Let's put her in there maybe in the next 2 or 3 months and keep her development moving forward. And let's see how she looks, in the next, I would say, 6 to 8 months, a year. Then we'll know what we really have. But as long as she continues to win and looks better and she's growing. But when Dan tells me, look, this guy has seen everything, and when he tells me, she works hard in the gym and she's in there and she's serious, then that says a lot to me. So that's what I hang my hat on.
Jim Barcelona, Miami Herald.
Mhm.
Scott, what did you think tonight in South Florida? The event, the crowd, and just all that. How did you view all that at the end of the night?
Yeah, it's our first time here, and the hotel's amazing. The venue was amazing, and I think we had a great night of fights for the fans that showed up. Um, and we'll definitely be back. The Hard Rock treated us very well, and I think we made great television. The fights were amazing. And when you think about South Florida, I think about AT&T, obviously with Dan Lambert. I mean, what an amazing gym he's got over there, and Sanford MMA, who has another. I mean, I would say 50% of the top 10 athletes fighting in MMA are probably at these two gyms right now, right? So it's amazing that they have so much talent here. And you guys saw who's in the crowd tonight. It's like the who's who of MMA. A lot of legends, a lot of great champions, and it's just it was an honor to have some of the fighters here, and it's a small community. Everybody knows everybody, but I tell you, they should be proud of South Florida because as far as talent goes, man, this is really impressive location to have that much talent, and I think you saw a lot of it tonight here in the building.
And to follow up on that too, I think almost all but one of the Sanford MMA and American Top Team fighters got the victory tonight. I was just curious your thoughts. Three of them. And this is my last question of Cody, Roman, and Steve Mowry.
Yeah, Maori, that was now I think he's 10-0, right? He's yeah, great submission. He's somebody that I think deserves to take the next step up. So he definitely will have a fight that is meaningful. In fact, when I was leaving the venue, he's like, "Hey, Coker, I want to talk to you. Me and you, me and you." I'm like, "Oh, me and you." He's like, "Me and you." I said, "Okay, give me a call." But he's somebody that I have high hopes for in that division.
Hey Scott, Danielowski of Fightful here. Cris Cyborg looked pretty solid tonight. Really showed her striking capabilities again. She was talking about Kat Zingano before, and then there's the idea of Arlene Blanco, who just won her fight tonight,
Mhm.
get a rematch per se. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna revert back to what we normally do, which is go back, talk to the fight team, and but I think she should fight Kat at some point. And if we were successful in signing Kayla, maybe we put that fight together sooner than later. So it's we have a couple options, but we will do our best to make a good offer and try to bring Kayla here to Bellator.
And speaking of potential fights, Bruna Ellen
Mhm.
called out Valerie Loureda earlier today after her win. Both fighters won tonight.
Mhm.
Both can have a little bit of the same breaks. What are your thoughts on that matchup and that for Valerie in general?
Yeah, I think Bruna has too many fights right now. I think that eventually Valley could fight her, but I would give her a couple more fights with maybe more like 3 to 4 fights. I think that Bruna has about 7, 8 fights, so I think they're about 4 fights apart. But eventually they could catch up to each other and get it on.
And finally, for me, you had Dan Lambert here, you had Austin Vandeford here,
Hmm.
Paige Van Zant.
Hmm.
Some of these people have been in AEW programming.
Hmm.
Some of them will be appearing on AEW programming tomorrow night.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts on everyone from MMA going to pro wrestling,
Hmm.
and what it will be of Jake Hager, who I believe you still have signed to Bellator?
Yeah, I'll speak about Jake Hager first. He put his hat in to fight Fedor when we were looking for an opponent that Fedor would want to fight in last month actually, and in October. And Fedor was like, I don't think he has enough experience to come fight, and I don't know if we could probably get a commission to sign off on that because of the experience, the difference in experience. But I love Jake. I think that he's doing a great job in wrestling. Would love to have him back. So Jake, wherever you are, if you're watching, give us a call. We'll let you get you back into the cage. In the meantime, all the ATT guys are over there. and they're doing a great job. You know, it's so funny for me to see Dan on TV, and he's selling it out there, and he's doing a great job. And he told me, he goes, this is a childhood passion of mine. It's something I really love. And I could tell when he goes out there and he starts selling it. And I love it that he brings the guys and all the girls, and he basically, you know, gets his fighters in there, and some are ours, some are from different leagues, and you know, it's just a lot of fun to watch. So he told me, I think well, I don't want to be a spoiler, so I can't tell you what happens tomorrow night.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the time, Scott.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.